Hi, I'm Trisha Mitchell with Newswire LA, and we're here today in the Pasadena area for a program called Clean Slate, which stands for South Los Angeles Teen Initiative, which is an EAP, also known as Abstinence Educational Program. It's a program for teens to teach them the importance of being abstinent before marriage, and it is taught by HEIDI ISEDA. All that and more when we return on Newswire LA.
We're in the hills above Pasadena at a historic home known simply as the Pasadena House. The Pasadena House serves as the headquarters for the Unification Church in Southern California. The home is also the headquarters for the Women's Federation for World Peace. That name is probably familiar to Newswire LA viewers because we covered the group's 20-year anniversary celebration. We're back covering this group, but we're actually covering one of the programs the group funds. That would be the Clean Slate Education Program, which is dedicated, among other things, to encouraging teens and young adults to practice abstinence in their relationships. To give you a glimpse of just how important this program is to WFWP's overall mission, let's go back to our Trisha Mitchell, who was with Chairwoman Emma Reed.
Now, as far as the LA chapter goes, what is it here in the city or county of Los Angeles? What projects do you have going on right now, such as like Slate?
Right now we're redeveloping our Clean Slate program. The Clean Slate program is designed for character-based education. Basically, it's for middle and high school students. We want to educate them to how to stay pure until marriage, also to live a moral life and think more about their education and their future rather than just what teenagers sometimes just do. Yeah, and we should have that rolling out in September, and we'll have everything ready, and we'll be looking for places where we can teach that. We did have it in public schools for 3 years until the funds ran out. Yeah.
So with the funding running out, where will you be offering this course?
We will go back to public schools. We go to private schools, to church organizations, churches, community organizations, anywhere where they'll have us, anywhere where there's teenagers.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And just one last thing, what do you foresee for not just the Women's Federation for World Peace International in USA, but specifically the LA chapter for the next 5-10 years? Where do you see it?
Basically, I want the Clean Slate program to really take a foothold in Los Angeles, because I see a lot of children with problems, especially in my neighborhood. And it takes several years to really develop a solid foundation. So that's what I'm going to be working on mostly. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Emma, and having us here at the lunch. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
HEIDI ISEDA is the Clean Slate Coordinator for the Southern California area, and she has taken this program to many venues, including schools, public and private. The program is a mix of showing teens and their parents the staggering statistics as they relate to teen and young adult sexual relationships outside of marriage. Another important aspect of the program are the interactive exercises that they participate in to show just how concretely the consequences of sex outside of marriage can be. They can range from sexually transmitted diseases to the disruption of education and life plans due to unplanned pregnancies.
Hi, we are here today with HEIDI ISEDA, the presenter of the program today, the Clean Slate Program, which is a abstinence educational program for our youth in South Los Angeles. Hi, Heidi, how are you? Thank you so much for that presentation. I wanted to talk about the fact that you lost the funding, federal funding, and now you'll be needing private funding. I kind of see it as a blessing in disguise in that you are not restricted to speak about the most important thing about abstaining, and that is obviously the spiritual aspect of it. Tell me, how do you feel about being able to speak on it from that perspective?
As I mentioned during my presentation, that we have to realize that we have to let the kids know that it takes a spiritual maturity and growth to be able to say no to anything that comes their way that they know will not be beneficial to them, especially in the area of sexuality. It's so easy to fall into all kinds of temptations of because of the media. You know, our kids are bombarded by all kinds of media, that information that, you know, doesn't really help them. As a parent, I know, you know, what I'm trying to raise my kids with, the values and faith and whatever, belief in themselves, and that they are God's creation, and they're God's sons and daughters, and that's why they need to protect themselves, because God dwells in their bodies. They are God's temples. But, you know, we can't really talk about those kind of things when we were teaching in the schools under the federal, you know, guidelines, I guess because of the separation of church and state. But now we can reach out to churches, and private donors can be allowed to, you know, they have the opportunity, if the private donor has faith and they want that also instilled in the children, then, you know, we're open to receiving that donation. We'll run with it, and we'll really reach out to the kids, really make a difference.
How do you deal with the young kids who are in same-sex relationships? How do you reach out to them and share the same message to them?
And there was one time I was in a high school class in South LA. It could be anywhere, but this girl said, "Yes, miss, I'm in a committed relationship. I only have one girlfriend." so okay.
You still had to deal with that.
Yeah, we just said, that's good. This teaching does not discriminate, you know, STDs and diseases. You know, we want to encourage everyone to be faithful, you know, within their relationship. And of course, we'd rather have you not start a relationship first. And that's what the message we're trying to bring to the kids is, to abstain, to wait for the right time, to wait for the right person, to wait when they're ready.
And so, having this program in South Los Angeles, we have a lot of kids whose parents are not there available just to do homework, let alone sit down and have that conversation about intimacy and relationships. Do you have a specific program geared towards helping the parents help their kids or talk to their kids?
Yes, we do, actually. That was one of the stages of the Clean Slate program. Besides school presentations, we present to the parents group, PTA or associations, community groups that has, you know, parenting classes. So we were invited to many of those also. And we really want to educate and empower the parents to learn how to talk to their kids about sexuality. And it doesn't have to be like a one-time thing. Okay, we'll sit down tonight, and this is the sex talk night. No, it has to come up in everyday occurrences, in everyday relationship, everyday give and take. Maybe you watch the movie, and there's some things there that happened, and you can ask, oh, what do you think about that? That's what I do with my kids.
Okay.
We'll be sitting in the car, and we'll be driving somewhere, and we'll be discussing different things, and I'm just kind of interject, oh, how do you relate to that? And how do you feel about that?
So now that you're in a state of needing private funding, can you tell us how a person can contribute, where they can contribute to?
Okay. They can contribute through the Women's Federation for World Peace. Right now, Clean Slate is being sponsored by their marriage and family focus. So they could give monetary donation, or they could give their time, if they have time to volunteer, come to the schools and be a mentor, or be a teacher also. And through donations, that will be very important because it costs money. We want to go into many schools and teach more kids, and we provide them with books and workbooks, and the teacher has, we have to have resources to pay the teachers, and we give them incentives. We feed them, we give them snacks. They love it. Yeah, they love it. And we buy these little bands that says, I'm worth waiting for.
Okay.
And we give them certificates, whatever. And we could help the kids with, to let them feel that someone cares about them. And they know, they can tell. They don't forget us. They see us in the school the next year, and says, "Oh, Miss, you remember me?" and so forth. So it's such a happy time.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, Heidi, and I wish your program much success.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a hard question.
As we stated earlier, interactive exercises are a crucial part of the mix with this program. One of the most effective ways to preach the idea of abstinence is to have participants, the teens and young adults, hear it from someone their own age. Meet Priya De Silva. Priya is older than many of the teens she lectures to as part of Clean Slate, but she's not out of their generation, so she has a good chance of keeping their interest and attention. Priya has been a practicing member of the Clean Slate program, and as you'll hear shortly, her father was a part of the team that got Clean Slate up and going. Let's go back to our Trisha Mitchell.
We're standing here with Priya, whose father actually was instrumental in creating the program itself. Priya, how are you today?
I'm good.
Great. Now, when you presented your testimony, so to speak, you also say that you're still a virgin because you're not married yet, right?
I just got married.
You just got married? Well, congratulations. So congratulations. Tell me what it was like abstaining all that time.
Well, yeah, as I was doing the program, I was with the program for a while, and I abstained. I was a virgin until marriage, and it really gave me an outlook on life in a positive way, and made me really focus on myself internally, so then I could prepare myself for the future when I was with my spouse. So it's been a positive thing, and it also been an influence on others in a good way.
And how long did it take your father to help prepare this program?
He heard about the program, and he started writing the grant for Southern California. It took him about a year, and it got approved. And once it got approved, we started teaching in different schools and stuff, and it's been good after that.
Good. Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea of how many individuals that you know of actually did change their mind and decide to abstain from sex since the inception of the program after the grant?
Yeah, well, multiple kids that we taught to, they actually changed their mind. They had more information about relationships, STDs, things that they didn't know they can catch from just having even one intercourse relationship with somebody. So, and it also made them really realize what it means to be in a relationship. And it's not about just being physical with someone, but it also means to be with that person and to stay with that person and to build a relationship upon that and not look for others, and that it's not a norm to most people in, you know, media and stuff, they say, oh, have multiple partners, but there is a choice, and you can't have the choice to wait until you find the right person.
Okay. And so tell us, now that the funding has been gone from federal funding, tell us how important it is for us to have private funding so that this program can continue, especially in South Los Angeles, how important it is needed there.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, it is really important to have this in our schools because, first of all, there's STDs spread, and amongst our young people, it spread at least about 1 million a year to different kids. And so it's really important to fund this because not only do we teach kids about abstinence and staying monogamous in a monogamous relationship, but it also gives them a sense of self-esteem and who they are, and to really become people that really look forward to their future and to really make plans for the future and become better people.
Well, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Back in the main lecture area, the presentation continues. HEIDI ISEDA continues displaying various slates of data and conducting live exercises for everyone in attendance. Making up the majority of this group today are parents. As we stated early on, the discussion of matters relating to sex must contain the parent in the mix. According to HEIDI ISEDA, Clean Slate is designed for parents and making it easier for them to talk to their young people about the prickly subject of teen sex. We're going to throw it back to our Trisha Mitchell, who is with one of the parents here today.
I'm Trisha Mitchell with Newswire LA, and I'm here with one of the mothers for the presentation of the Clean Slate program. Hi, how are you today?
Hi.
Awesome. Tell me what it is from the presentation that you liked most.
I like also the scope of information that was provided, and I think that you know, sometimes young people are ignorant and they go into a relationship not realizing what it means, both emotionally and physically. And I think the consequences here are so clear that both emotional consequences and physical consequences, and seeing a real example of some kids, young people who have been through that and got HIV or die early age, or all their dreams were totally, you know, they had to abandon all the dreams. It's so devastating, and I think that young people who sees it actually really come to think very deeply before they, you know, and give you also tools and reason why to stay abstinent, why we can see that today in school some people have, she said, they don't even know the meaning of the word abstinence, or they don't think it's cool, you know. And especially there was a young lady here who is, you know, who is through abstinence and is a role model. Actually, we need a role model, and I think that was very effective.
So you feel absolutely truly comfortable that by your daughter going through this program, pretty sure that she will abstain from having sex before marriage.
Yeah, I really believe that attending it and watching it actually made a difference in the way she looked at relationship, and I feel more confidence that through attending it, she actually will be mindful about, you know, her relationship, who she is, and which involve also character and personality. It's not just, you know. So I really am very grateful to attend this meeting as a parent, and that my daughter have been here too.
Okay, so you definitely will be supporting.